Welcome traders and investors to the MeetDamian trading course here on how to trade and invest using the VRVP indicator and the Fibonacci retracement tool. In this video, we're going to cover how I trade and set up the VRVP indicator, as well as how to set up the Fibonacci retracement tool and how to trade with it as well. And then we're going to combine the tools there to show you guys how to look for strong areas of confluence between the two tools, where we can find out strong areas of support and resistance between the VRVP indicator, the Fibonacci, and also moving averages to find out key support levels to be looking for. Okay, so let's get into the charts here. We're first going to start by looking at getting at basic ideas like support and resistance here, okay, on the chart. And I know some of you guys might be familiar with support and resistance, but this is a video for beginners here. So let's just get right to it. With support, right, we have support and resistance levels. You might see an asset trading in a range here, okay? And the support would be towards the bottom where we would be looking for longs, and resistance would be the ceiling, okay, where we're looking for shorts. And in that case, right, you're looking for longs near the floor, and you're looking for shorts near the resistance, okay. So with that being said, we do see that sometimes price moves up and down, as we all know in markets here. But when the price hits an expected resistance level, it will get usually a reaction there, where we get a reaction and rejection, and then maybe it might show some turbulence here and then push right back up to that resistance. And if it does push past that resistance level, then it might be able to flip this into support, where the price comes back down again, gets another reaction off of the resistance, right, that is now going to be acting as support, and then treats this as like a floor instead of a ceiling, okay, where we bounce off of that, maybe bounce off it one more time before we shoot up to higher prices, okay? Okay. The same is could be said vice versa, right? If we were to see the price be bearish here, okay, and we are coming down to lower prices here, where we initially get that, you know, bounce off of support, off of the floor here, and then come back down, maybe break through it. And if we break through it, then we're expecting a retest where we come back up to what was the previous support or the floor, which is now going to act as a ceiling here and reject us and come down. And then we might actually, you know, see the price go to lower levels after that, okay? So that's just a basic idea of like support, right, would be the floor, and resistance would be the ceiling, okay? And as I get into this, you'll kind of understand why I did all that, okay? But now I'm going to turn on the price here. We are looking at the price of Bitcoin right now, currently trading at $64,000 here. I just got basically like a naked chart here. This is a candlestick chart showing the price of Bitcoin, and I'm now going to turn on the VRVP indicator here. All right, it stands for Visual Range Volume Profile Indicator here. I'll turn it on, and this is what it's showing here. Okay, and I'm just going to go over the basic components of this VRVP indicator here. Right here, I have, it looks like a heat map looking thing, and the green, right, is showing all the buys at a certain price level, and the red or magenta, if you want to call it that, is showing all the sells at a certain price level here, okay? And if you add them up together, all that data, it shows you like a high volume node here. We got a high volume node here, right here, where this dark blue line's at. We also got another high volume node here, right below that dark blue line, and a little bit of a bump here of a high volume node here as well, okay? Okay, so those are your volume nodes here, showing you like where people were buying and selling this particular asset. In this case, this would be Bitcoin, okay? And yeah, you can spot like the volume nodes here, all right? These are levels where we would expect a reaction off the nodes here, okay? With the most likely reactions to occur when we actually hit this dark blue line, okay? This is your highest volume node here. This is your point of control, okay? We call it POC for short, but it's your point of control, okay? This is where the majority of people were buying and selling this asset, Bitcoin, at. They were doing it here at this price level, about 63,900 bucks, roughly, okay? All right. Another volume node that we need to be paying attention to is the value area low and the value area high. Okay, these are the white lines here. You got the value area low sitting at $58,200, and then you got the value area high here sitting about like 73,900. Okay, and this is just showing that we would expect a reaction here at $58,000, and then we would expect another reaction here at 73K for Bitcoin. Okay, so most important levels or components that we're seeing here on the chart here is this value area high, the point of control, and the value area low, okay? And you can actually find this here on the VRVP indicator if you go into settings. If you go into settings here, you'll see that you got the VAH, the VAL, and the POC as the components of this indicator here, okay? They are clicked on, and that's why you're seeing it on my chart here, okay? But I am going to show you guys here how to actually find the VRVP indicator here, and also how to make sure that those components are clicked on here. Okay, so you actually have that set up in your chart here. The way it's going to look like for me when you see me on my live streams, on the MeetDamian live streams, you'll be able to see, like, get the same kind of chart set up here with the value area low, the point of control, and the value area high. So let me go ahead and do that for you guys just now. If you go into your indicators here, okay, and you just type in on TradingView, this is the platform that we're using, TradingView. If you type in VRVP, you should get the visual range volume profile here showing up. You click on that thing, and it's not going to look like the way I had set up here. It's going to look probably like this. Yeah, it's going to look like you got most of that data here. It's still there, but you can see like it's shaped like blocks now, and you don't have like those gaps in between the volume nodes like I had. Okay, if you're trying to get the thing to be a little bit more precise and be able to see those gaps in between the volume nodes, then you have to go back into settings here on the VRVP indicator that you just set up on your chart. You have to go over to inputs, and you have to change the row size here from 24, just add a 0, make it 240, and then look what happens here on the chart. Okay, you're over here. Now you can see that you got a little bit of gaps here in between the volume nodes, and this is helpful because with the volume nodes, right, we would expect the price to make a quick jump from one node to the next node, okay, kind of like an electric spark on a spark plug, okay, and we'd expect the price to not get that much resistance until it hits the next node, okay. So this is very important to have, is these this chart setups. That way you have 240 row sizes here, so you can actually spot the gap in between the nodes here, okay. All right, but let me go ahead and continue on here with setting up the rest of this VRVP indicator. You got to go back into that VRVP indicator here, and you have to go into style and drop down to where it says VAH, VAL. This is your value area high, which you're going to click on, and your value area low, you're going to make sure that's clicked on. And then you got the point of control. Right now, all of them are like white lines here, but I really want to pay attention to this point of control, and I want to make sure it's a little bit different than the other white lines that are on the chart here, which is your value area high and your value area low. I'm going to go ahead and go back in the settings here, and I'm going to just change that point of control here to a blue color line here, okay? So now my point of control should be blue, right? All right, this is the highest volume, most important node here, where price is going to be, some would say, magnetically attracted to it. Okay, it's going to keep coming back to that level, and it's a very strong level. And in this case, we see that today that the price of Bitcoin has dropped down to the point of control, and I would expect a bounce off this level if this level is going to act as support. Right now, the price is at that level here, and it should act as support unless we lose that support. And if we lose that support, then I would expect the price to actually drop down to this other volume node here, right below it at 62,700. This would be where I would be looking for longs on this asset for the price of Bitcoin. Okay, that's if this point of control is not going to hold up as support. I'd expect this to act as support. And if that doesn't act as support, then look what happens. You get a gap in the VRVP indicator, and there shouldn't really be much support until we come down to this other high volume node here, roughly at 60K. This is also a psychological number. You would expect some traders, investors to try to take a shot on buying Bitcoin at 60K here, okay? Just because it's a psychological thinking behind it, as like I'm going to buy at 60K. But also, there's also high volume here, so 60K could be another support level. But I would say, for damn sure, you would think that if the price does not get any support off of these levels here, then you would expect the value area low to be the last line of defense here for the bulls who are bullish on this asset here. And that value area low is sitting at 58,193 here, okay? All right, so those are the levels that we're looking for on the VRVP indicator. These are like magic hidden levels, which you might not see in the chart. Some might be able to see it by looking at just previous candle wicks and candle bodies. But this is a great indicator here that adds up all the data here to find out where we would expect support level to be. If you're having a hard time figuring out where the support levels should be, this should help you figure out where those support levels would be here, okay? And of course, it would also show us where we would expect resistance. All right, resistance would be above, where the price is currently trading at. And you can see that, with the price of Bitcoin right now, right, if we were to start climbing up to higher prices, there's really not that much resistance until we get up to like 71K here, and then also 71,700. But for sure, value area high, around like 75K. And I know this is changing the numbers here based on what you're doing with the charts. This is a VRVP indicator here. It will readjust itself if you are scrolling in or scrolling out, okay? What I would suggest is you should keep this indicator on the high time frames. Right now I have this set up on the daily time frame. The daily time frame is a good area to pull up the data, and you want to pull back quite a few days here. We got data going all the way back to like May of 2026 here. So you can expect these levels to be pretty prominent and significant levels here, right, that we should be looking at, okay? All right, but this indicator does work on smaller time frames, and I will show that to you here on the smaller time frames. If we were to go into like the 1 hour chart, which would be considered a smaller time frame, you're going to see as this VRVP indicator loads up itself, okay, it's going to show different value area. It's going to show you a different value area high, a different value area low, and a different point of control because you're now using a different data set. The data is going only back to like Wednesday of July 22nd of 2026 here, okay? So this indicator is useful on the larger time frames for like, larger time frames would be good for the, the investors out there and the swing traders. But the smaller time frames, this is where the day traders are going to be playing around on the 1 hour chart or maybe like the 15 or 5 minute chart here. This indicator is a very powerful indicator to be using on the smaller time frames. It is one of my favorite indicators to use, and that's why I decided to show this to you guys here on this video as one of the first indicators that we're going to talk about in this video, okay? So with this VRVP indicator here on the 1 hour time frame, once again, you got that point of control, important level to pay attention to. The dark blue line is now sitting at $64,300. That is a point of control here, okay? That is the highest volume node. It is above the current price action, so I would expect that if price was to come back up to that point of control, that we would get a rejection off that level and then maybe come back down. And maybe we have to retest the value area low here. Value area low sitting at 63,400. I would expect that to be support at that point, okay? You have support here at $63,400 here, okay? And if price is able to actually punch through past this point of control sitting at 64,300, then you would expect the price to try to climb itself up to this value area high. That value area high is sitting at $65,200. So this is where we would be looking to take profit on our longs here and maybe entertain the idea of getting into a short at this level here, okay? And you can see that this level, this value area high, seems to be a level where we don't really stay at that price for too long before we get rejected. Come up to here, you come up to this, we're looking at previous price action, you come up to 65K, you immediately get rejected. We were over here at 65K, you didn't really stay there for too long, before you got rejected, okay? So I would expect if price was to do this one more time and come up to 65K, and we're talking about like 65,200 to be exact here, I would expect, you know, a rejection at this level. Or if we kind of hang out here for a little bit, I wouldn't really expect us to stay there for too long before we come back down, probably to this point of control, this dark blue line here. So this indicator is really great to find the ranges that you're looking for you know, your day trades, your scalp trades out there. This is a very, very great indicator to figure out what the actual levels you are looking for here, okay? So this is the VRVP indicator, which is great, okay? But I also like to throw on, yeah, we don't like to just rely on just one indicator by itself. Another indicator that I would like to throw on here would be the moving averages here, just to see if there's any confluence here with any of the volume nodes here on the VRVP indicator. And you can see that, you know, right now there is on the 1 hour time frame, the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame is right next to this point of control. You would expect, you know, we would expect that there would be some resistance here if we come back up there, because not only do you have this point of control blocking you from going up to higher prices, but you also got the 200 moving average, which would probably block you from going up to higher prices here. So you can see that there is some confluence here just using moving averages and the POC to figure out the level that you might want to, in this case, take some profit on whatever long that you're in, and also maybe entertain the idea of going into a short if that's what you want to do next, okay? All right, so that is the VRVP indicator here, guys. I am now going to try to show you guys the Fibonacci. Let me just readjust this chart, go into the daily time frame here. And I'm going to get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. And I will get rid of the moving averages. We'll put that back on, because you can do moving averages with the Fibonacci as well to find out very important levels to pay attention to here. All right, so Fibonacci. The Fibonacci retracement tool should be off to your left here on TradingView. You got the Fibonacci retracement right here, or you can click Alternate F to get it as well. And there's a couple of ways to draw the Fibonacci depending upon what you're trying to do. From swing low to swing high is where you should draw it from, and you want to make sure you're actually getting the candlewick low here, okay? And you just bring this up to the swing high. It looks like that came in at 66,900, so we try to get there as best as we can here, okay? And you got the Fibonacci numbers here off to your left here, okay? You got the 0.236 retracement, the 0.382, the 0.5, the 618, the 786, retracement levels here. And this shows you most likely levels where the asset will retrace itself back down to, okay? And you can see that we've already came down here to the 0.5 retracement at $62,350. This gives you an idea as like where the price might actually retrace itself back down to, okay? And we actually did come down to $60,350. We came just a little bit lower than that. Doesn't have to be exact, but we did hit $60,233 here on August 1st for the price of Bitcoin. And that's the point where we got that pivot to go up to higher prices after that, okay? The Fibonacci retracement, we do have this thing called the golden pocket, which is an important level to look out for as well. The golden pocket is a level that we would most likely expect the retracement to go down to. Sometimes it comes to the 0.5. Other times it does come down to the 0.618 pocket here. This is a very important level to be paying attention to. That's why it's highlighted in gold here. The price of Bitcoin still might come down to this golden pocket level and get a bounce off that level before it actually launches up to higher prices here. Okay, but that is another important level that you guys should be paying attention to. And I actually have it as a golden pocket or golden zone between the 0.618 and 0.65. And to get that set up on the indicator here, all right, click on the indicator, go into settings here, make sure you got that set up, and you should have your Fibonacci levels here. You got the 0.382, 0.236 level, 0.382, 0.5, 0.618, 0.65, 0.786, and the 0.1. If the 0.65 level is not in there, you can add that in there, okay? Just make sure you click it on and have that as 6.5, okay? That is a level that we want to pay attention to and expect most likely a bounce back off that level if the price does come down to. But it looks like in this case, it didn't actually pull back to that level. Doesn't mean that it won't eventually, but we can see that the price of Bitcoin, right, did pull back down to the 0.5 level in its most recent pullback, and it got that bounce here, okay? Doesn't mean that the 0.618 level is a level to ignore. That could be a level that could get hit later on in the future, right? If we continue making lower highs here on the price of Bitcoin and we come down to lower prices, I would expect a reaction at the 618 golden pocket level at $61,200 here before we maybe launch up to higher prices after that. And maybe, who knows, we don't know what's going to happen in the future here. We can only come up with probabilities here, okay? But we might actually launch up and make another lower high here before coming back down and revisiting that 618 golden pocket one more time, okay? All right, so that's Fibonacci retracement, okay? And I want to now move on and show you guys here Fibonacci extension levels here, right? Because sometimes the price of Bitcoin will climb up to higher levels than the swing high, right? The swing high, we have it set here at $66,924 that it did here on July 21st. All right, how do we figure out how much higher could Bitcoin go if it's going to continue being bullish? Well, we're going to have to draw this Fibonacci the other way to get the Fibonacci extensions, okay? So I already showed you here, you guys, the Fibonacci retracement going from swing low to swing high, and you got these Fibonacci levels here. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to go from swing high to swing low. I'm still going to keep it here, but we're just going to do it opposite, right? Where we go from 66,900 down to 57,700 is where Bitcoin was at back on July 1st. And now we got Fibonacci extension levels to look for here to the upside, okay? And to the upside, we do got 1272 Fibonacci extension here at 69,300 and a 1618 at 72,400. These would be levels that I would expect Bitcoin to climb up to if it continues being bullish. If we can get past 66,800, then I would expect 69,350 to be the next level where we might get a rejection. Or we might push past that and go up to this 1618, and I would expect the next rejection level to come in at $72,400. Now, this is all good and great, right, using these Fibonacci's here. And I showed you that you could do Fibonacci retracement or you could do Fibonacci extension, right? The extension is great to figure out prices going up to the upside here. It's also good to see if there's going to be any confluence using moving averages here with the Fibonacci levels to find out what would be the strong support or resistance levels to be looking for. So I'm now going to turn on the moving averages here. And you'll see here that we have a moving average right next to this 1272 at $69,354. We have the 200-day moving average, this red line that's curving its way back down to lower levels here. This 200-day moving average is sitting at $70,010. This red number right here, if you guys are trying to figure out where I'm getting these numbers from. $70,000 is where that 200-day moving average is at, and that's confluent with the $69,354 price level at that 1272 Fibonacci extension level. So this 1272 Fibonacci extension level is kind of agreeing that we could, see the price of Bitcoin come up to 69K roughly and get rejected off that 200-day moving average. The moving average trader is going to look for the 200-day as a possible area to try to take profit. And the Fibonacci traders are also going to be using this Fibonacci extension level here to figure out where they should take profit. So you got these two indicators are agreeing with each other that this is an area that we would probably want to take some profit on Bitcoin if we're in a Bitcoin long here, okay? If you're wondering how to get that Fibonacci extension level to show up on your chart here, go ahead and get into the settings one more time here. And on your settings, you want to make sure that you got the 1272 clicked on here and the 1618 clicked on here. I also have other levels here like the 2618 and the 3618 which are somewhat useful, especially if the asset gets really, really bullish out there. And then if that's the case here, if the price of Bitcoin is going to be really bullish here in the near future, then we got the 2618 saying that there's a possibility that Bitcoin could get to like 81,500. And then there's also a 3618 that says $90,600 should be a level to pay attention to, where we might actually get resistance for Bitcoin, in the future here. But I would say, as far as like day trading and swing trading goes, as if you're using Fibonacci extensions here, you should really be paying attention to just the levels here at the 1272, the 1618. They usually get hit. The 1272 will most likely get hit first, obviously, before the 1618 gets hit. And these are levels to be looking for on the charts here. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to show you guys here, and the charts might get a little bit cluttered here. I'm actually going to get rid of this Fibonacci right now, showing the retracement. We're just going to keep the Fibonacci extension here. I'm going to show you some confluence here with the VRVP indicator. If you go ahead and turn on that VRVP indicator one more time, okay. All right. Now you can see that there is confluence here with the VRVP indicator and the Fibonacci, and to some extent the moving averages here. But the VRVP indicator, right, and the Fibonacci are both saying that there is a very important level to pay attention to, and that's sitting at about 63,800 bucks. Or at least that's what it's shown here in the VRVP indicator. But that 63,800 bucks is not too far away from this 0.65 golden pocket at 63,700. So if I was looking at this, guys, as an asset to trade, I'm looking at the price of Bitcoin, and I'm saying to myself, all right, I got the VRVP, and I also got the Fibonacci, both saying that there's a very important level to pay attention to at 63,700, 63,800 in this area. And with the price being right above it, I would expect that to act as support, get a bounce, maybe come back up to higher price levels here, where we got the value area high, this white line sitting at 65K, and we also have the 786 retracement, the Fibonacci also agreeing that there's a level here around 65K that we need to be paying attention to. So you can play the Fibonacci, and you can also play the VRVP indicator levels here to figure out what the actual levels you need to be paying attention to. So in this case, we're looking for longs on Bitcoin at 63,700. And we're looking to take profit on those longs for the day traders here at around 65K, okay? And then we're probably going to be maybe entertaining the idea of possibly getting to a short at 65K and bringing it right back down to this point of control here and this Fibonacci level here at 63,700. I hope that makes sense to you, my fellow traders and investors. This is how I normally trade using the VRVP indicator and the Fibonacci. All right, you guys can ask more about the Fibonacci and the VRVP and see how I trade with it on my live streams here. I do have a MeetDamian YouTube channel and a MeetDamian TikTok channel where you can find me going live here, usually around the evening hours of 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, this would be the MeetDamian TikTok, so go ahead and follow if you guys are using TikTok here. And then for the MeetDamian YouTube channel, you can find me here as well, where I go live, and you can watch the live streams here and actually ask me about whatever asset you're trading. And it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. It could be the price of Apple or Google. We can talk about stocks. We can talk about commodities as well. If I can find it on the trading view charts, then I will chart it here. But you can come onto the live streams and learn as much as you can about the VRVP indicator and the Fibonacci and how we can get confluence with those, with the moving averages as well. And this is how we identify the key support levels, the hidden levels that we're supposed to be looking for as day traders and swing traders out here. Okay. So I hope that helps you guys with your investing and trading endeavors. And I wish you guys the best of luck in your trading journeys, wherever you are in your trading journey. I hope to see you guys show up on the live streams as well, and join the MeetDamian community here. Take care and good luck trading and investing. The next video, guys, will be about actually trading on the cryptocurrency exchanges. So go ahead and check out that video, which will be the next video in this trading course. Take care, guys.